Morning. How are ya? How are you doing? Good morning. It is Wednesday morning, February the 14th. It's Valentine's Day. How are ya? Did you remember? If not, you still have time. Make sure, though, to pick up a little something special for your Valentine. It is beautiful outside. The sun is shining bright. There's a live look at one of our tower cams. It's a pretty one. It's a pretty one, right? Yeah. It's that's our shot in Ocala, Marion County. Nice and chilly start to the day. Certainly, we don't have any rain. Our first warning live Doppler radar is coming back empty, but the temperatures, they're a little cool. It's okay to say. It's okay to say it. It's okay to let's call a spade on a Valentine's morning, right? 42 degrees. Got to stay warm, friends. It's 48 in Leesburg, 52 degrees in Orlando. Although at my house we're at 49. I just checked my weather station here at the house. 49 in Titusville and 51 in Melbourne. So it's absolutely beautiful for Valentine's plans. We're looking good today. I'm in love with this forecast because we've got a nice cool morning. But it's a comfortable afternoon. It's a little below average in terms of temperatures, but still, it's beautiful. Bright sunshine. How could you not be a fan of this kind of weather, right? 68, 1 o'clock, 71 by 3 p.m., upper 60s again, 5 o'clock, and then dinner time, dropping through the 60s. That is a good look, my friends. Man, oh man. We've got a lot going on in the forecast, though, as is so typical this time of year. We've got, now that football's over with, unfortunately, we've got, I'm sad about football being done, but I do look forward to the racing and all that other fun stuff. Lots going on, but there's also lots going on in our forecast. So let's kind of get an idea of what's going on. All right, so here we are today. High pressure out west of us. Nice, cool air mass. You gotta love that. That's the kind of weather we can all get behind. But into Thursday, tomorrow, high pressure will have already crossed the peninsula, turning our winds around and starting to give us a little bit more of a warm setup. And then into Friday, Saturday, front starts moving our direction, and that's going to drag up the moisture. So at least for now, it's beautiful. We've got a great setup. We need some rainfall. The pollen numbers remaining high into the weekend. In terms of rainfall, we do have that rain arriving, though, by Saturday. Saturday and Sunday are actually going to turn out to be pretty wet days. So what's going on? So remember that front I was just telling you about from Friday? By Saturday morning, it's over top of us, and it starts pulling moisture in from the Gulf of Mexico. So gusty breeze, cloudy skies, rain around. All right, that's Saturday. Saturday night, we start to watch a storm system kind of working in from the Gulf of Mexico, and then over the course of the day, Sunday, that low crosses us. Okay, now, we love getting into the meat and potatoes here when it comes to the forecast models. So what I want to do is I want to put up the Euro and the GFS. They are still very different, but they've flip-flopped positions. So let's just take a look, okay? This is Saturday morning. Both models starting to bring rain into Central Florida. By Saturday afternoon, widespread showers. The European is kind of metro-focused, whereas the GFS is more focused north. But notice through Saturday night, both models are just wet. And we're going to keep it wet overnight. Look where we end up on Sunday. This is where it gets interesting. Sunday morning, the Euro now starting to clear us out, 11 a.m. The GFS still with torrential downpours. And then 1, 2 o'clock, race time. Notice the difference, right? Europeans clearing that rain out. GFS still with the pouring rain. And I feel like it was flip-flopped yesterday, right? Then into Sunday night, Euro is clearing out. GFS taking its sweet time. So why is this? There are two distinct scenarios that will be playing out here. And this is what we have to watch. The low moves through central Florida. Thus, it turns super wet the entire weekend. Low moves into South Florida. We clear out a little bit quicker, and we thus improve things for the Daytona 500. I think it's kind of an interesting little scenario. We'll have to see how it ends up playing out, though. But yeah, those are the models are separated on that. We have not dialed that in yet. Thus, as I mentioned, the European and the GFS could not be more different. Saturday is going to be wet. Both global models are indicating that. But Sunday, there's a pretty good question mark here. What is it, 1 o'clock race time? There's a pretty good question mark as to which model ends up playing out. So, with Speed Weeks really starting to get going, just to make this as simple as possible, I threw this together a couple of days ago, talking about weather impacts and good qualifying, the blue-green duels, the Fresh from Florida 250, those are low impactors. But Saturday's a high weather impactor, Sunday's a high weather impactor. And depending, we may have to go very high weather impact on Saturday. So many of us have plans. I get ya. We're having to watch that weather. All right, so that's where we're at looking at the forecast right now, okay? For this evening, though, for Valentine's evening plans, romantic dinner, a night out on the town, dancing, salsa, you're fine. It's this weekend, unfortunately, and it's a holiday weekend, too. It's President's Day weekend, after all. But, yeah, this weekend's forecast, not looking perfect. All right, Jana says at least the rain will wash some of this pollen away. Dude, it's a mess out there. Not happy. Not happy at all. Yeah. Deborah says the NASCAR needs to move the 500 to Monday. We'll have to, they'll call a game time decision. Right now, scattered showers and rain around. That's what we're doing. We're watching the radar because, and that's the meteorologist's way to basically just say we'll have to see how this plays out. It's too soon to really dive deeply here on that, and that's frustrating, man. That's frustrating. Gabby, can you show Future Track one more time? I was a few minutes late unless you haven't. So here's kind of the global models. It's too far out. Like our Futurecast model, let's see. I don't think it goes out far enough. Yeah, our Futurecast goes out through... Oh, wait a minute. That's... Hold on. Yeah, our Futurecast stops at 12:30, 1 a.m. Saturdays as far out as Futurecast goes. But you could see at that point, it's already... Hold on, let me... Sometimes NASCAR calls it till Monday, usually after trying Sunday. Yeah, I was going to say, they're not going to do it... They're not going to do it this early. All right, so what I'm going to do is this. Whoa, wow. Okay, so you can see the domain of our Futurecast model. All right, so let's just do this. Let me flatten the Earth. But the Earth's not flat. Hush. All right. So this is our Futurecast model. Thursday. You can see that moisture coagulating coming together over Texas Friday, right? And then see it spreading onto that frontal boundary late Friday. Yeah, and that's as far out as it goes. 12:30, 1 a.m. Saturdays, as far out as our Futurecast model goes. But that should at least give you an idea of what's to come, I could tap into the GFS and the European. We could do that. Certainly we can look at that. But this at least gives you an idea of what our Futurecast is. Rita says, I feel like Valentine's Day loses some of the magic when you're up late the night before making a gazillion Valentines for kids' classes. Yeah, that was what the wife was doing while I was working. So I would venture to agree. So for NASCAR regulars, if the race moves to Monday, are tickets made available and are they discounted? That's a good question. I do not know the answer to that one. Brian, any NASCAR regulars? Ron Kendrick, Nancy Kendrick, y'all in this morning to throw a little bit of perspective at us, you know? So that's Futurecast, but let's look at the GF. You know, we can look at the GFS and we can do all of that fun stuff. We showed we showed the like zoomed in GFS stuff, right? And you could see like race time on Saturdays looking rough, lots of showers. I'd like to say Saturday's looking particularly rough for rain. Diane says tickets are sold out. Only way to get a ticket is from a ticket holder, no discount either. Got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. So for right now, Saturday's race is looking quite washed out. Like at the moment, at least. Like if I'm not working at the moment, okay? Understand this. But for the Saturday United Rentals 300, if I was working, I would take that high and move it to very high. A very high weather impact. Just based on the model trends, right? Like both global models pretty much wet. The big question is, does the 500 look better, right? Like the 500 runs what, 1 p.m.? You've got model disagreement. Consistency breeds confidence. We don't have consistency yet. So the confidence is not there for Sunday. Whereas for Saturday, you know, there's definitely some confidence, and we don't love that. So, yeah, there's that. All right. So for race forecasting, I would say most of the races are fine. The United Rentals 300, I would say not fine. Daytona 500, questionable. Yeah. So I'm just telling you, and again, I'm not the meteorologist in the Weather Center right now, but I want to always share with you like my thoughts. I would move that high for Saturday to a very high weather impact, and then I would keep the Daytona 500 at a high weather impact until we start to see confidence one direction or another in terms of the models, okay? And here, let's do this. Since we're talking models, let's throw up the old GFS. All right, so there's Saturday with the GFS. And what I'd like to do, we're going to go and we're going to do some deeper dive stuff, okay? Because it's coffee talk, and that's what we do. All right, so the current run of the GFS, as we all know, is the 6Z run. All right, I'm going to turn the clouds. We can keep the clouds on. That's fine. All right. I'm going to go to the 6Z. I'm going to specify the 6Z run, which is already selected. All right, so that's the 6Z run. And I'm just going to put it on the banner. 06Z. And I'll change it, but just so that we can all watch this together, okay? All right, so GFS model, and because what I want to do is go backward. All right, so Saturday we're seeing it spreading out that rain, widespread rain Saturday, basically afternoon/evening. There's that low. You can see that low. You can see that low basically sitting in the Gulf of Mexico, right? And so Sunday, 2 p.m., the low is basically over Osceola, Polk counties. See that counterclockwise spin there? Rain still around, but clearing, and then clearing and clearing. So that's the current run. Let's do this. Let's switch from the 6Z to the 0Z. Give me a second to change all the parameters because I'm doing this on the fly. 6Z to the 0Z. 6Z to the 0Z. All right, so there's the 0, 0, Z. So look how it's got It looks like it's kind of the same start of the timing of the rain on Saturday. Sunday, it almost looks like the 0Z keeps light showers around a bit longer, okay? Let's go to yesterday's 18Z. Give me a minute. So I'm going back in model runs. 18Z yesterday. 18Z yesterday. 18Z, by the way, is referring to times. All right, so there's the rain arriving about the same time, but clearing earlier. So yesterday, the GFS was definitely trying to clear earlier. All right, let's switch over to the 12Z yesterday. Give me a second. Wind particles. 12Z yesterday. GFS rain. 12Z yesterday. GFS clouds. 12Z yesterday. All right, so it was a coming in later Saturday, clearing earlier Sunday. So the GFS has definitely been trending wetter and wetter and wetter, right? So anyway, all this to show that model trend, and thus on our 7-day forecast, you'll clearly notice here that we have had to make some tweaks and bring up that rain chance on Sunday. Yeah, that's what I thought. It seemed like the models have kind of started to shift around just a little bit, which, again, consistency breeding confidence, or in this case, a lack of confidence. So at least we know. At least we know. Right? So on March 1st, wind direction is back. I don't know what that means, Mike. On March 1st, wind direction is back. What do you mean, bud? Is that a band? I don't know. All right, so kind of crummy for timing on the weekend. Dean says, need some rain, just wish it were during the week. I know, man. I know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Definitely frustrating. Because you got all this sunshine. It's like, what are you doing today? I'm going to work. What are you doing today? And then it's the weekend. It's like, what are you doing? Well, now, Wind Direction is your hurricane boy band group. That's what I thought. Okay, all right. So let's talk about some things, though. We've got rain this weekend. President's Day weekend is a special weekend at the Orlando Science Center. I'm on the board, so understand I'm throwing my shameless plug. I will be at the Orlando Science Center on Friday. So today's my day off. Usually I have Thursdays and Fridays off. This week it's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, because I'm at the Orlando Science Center on Friday, broadcasting live for our noon broadcast, and we're going to be previewing Spark STEM Fest. With all of this rain in the forecast this weekend, what a great weekend to take your family down to the Orlando Science Center. I know we'll be out there as a family. So I'm broadcasting live Friday, but then I will also be there as a civilian, we'll say, pushing the stroller, drinking the coffee, doing that for Spark STEM Fest. So Spark STEM Fest, big event at the Orlando Science Center. You can go. There's more presentations. At one point I was going to present, and then I think they overbooked and told me not to present. So crud. I'll do it another time. If I am presenting, I'll be telling y'all to come bring your kids. But yeah, so it's a rainy weekend. It's a perfect weekend to go to the Science Center. Rita says OSC for the win. Yeah, well, it's like the playground and the learning and it's indoors. So shameless plug. Not gonna lie, shameless plug. But I don't care. I don't care. And it's ethical if you're wondering, because I'm not changing the forecast to tell you to go. This is just what it is. I need to go. Haven't been there in years. It was a regular visit when I was a kid. Brian, it's so great, man. And like, I feel like as an adult, there's so much to learn. There's actually a whole, there's a the traveling section was brought in, and it's all about transportation. And so I did see airplane stuff down there, so may have to go check that out. Chow says, have a fishing charter booked on Saturday. I mean, the Thunder Lightning content here is going to be fairly low. Okay, but just for situational awareness, the Weather Prediction Center, the WPC, has put out a level 1 kind of watching for the threat of flooding this weekend. Yeah. So there's that. Mickey's asking about rainfall accumulation. I haven't seen it this morning, admittedly. This is not something I looked at, but we can check together. Yeah, I mean, no surprise here. Like, the GFS is the one that's bringing a lot more rain. So through the weekend, the GFS is saying some spots 3 to 5 inches of rain to the north, because that's where it's taking the low, whereas the Euro's wanting to focus more of the heavy rain south. Yeah. So there you go. Love that. Brian's asking, can you tell how fast the storm's coming in from forward speed? The models haven't dialed in on it, so we're watching it, but it's all dependent on timing. I mean, I'm not looking at 15, 20 miles an hour versus 5 to 10 miles an hour. I'm looking at when's the darn thing getting here and when's the darn thing leaving. We can do actual forward speed if we get into like nowcasting heavier cells, but yeah, at this point, that's just not how the forecasting game works. Billy says, I coach flag football and we have a game 3:30 in Ocala. What day? On top of that, my daughter has a flag football tournament down in Tampa. Oh, on Saturday. I'm guessing it's going to get rained out. So 3:30. All right, so let's look at, Futurecast doesn't go out that far because it's a higher resolution model. Okay? But there's 3:30 on Saturday. I spy with my little eye a whole lot of rain. Unfortunately. Billy. Don't hate me, man. I still love you and your family. I don't be mad at the messenger, please. Yeah. Anniversary massage, mani-pedi, and dinner reservations booked for Saturday. Thanks again for all the experience ideas. Oh, congratulations, Mike. That sounds fun. Sorry, buddy. Sorry for the forecast. Sorry. Debbie says, so Eric, will it be moist this weekend? It's very moist. Cindy, it's very moist. Very moist. Yep. Mickey, well, if that low tracks over Central Florida, that will be a big indicator for us for the hurricane forecast. So, Mickey, I will say that this is the last part of the cycle that I need to see to get my hurricane forecast published. It will be the third time I see it, and I will be grateful that I will have had 3 times to see it. So, yeah. Sign in. Why are you being such a putz? I'm trying to sign into my model data here. Trying to show you raw model data. There you go. Stop being grumpy. It's thinking. It's just taking its sweet time today. Okay, maps. What I want to look at is the pressure anomalies. GFS. Pressure anomaly. All right, so we use this product a lot during hurricane season, but, I was showing you the rains, but now I want to look at the actual low. So GFS is going with the low south. That's current run. Go back a run. Further north. Go back a run. Kind of further north. Go back a run. Further north. Let's look at the European. Actually, that'll go out. Yeah, that dog will hunt. So the end of the European, it's further south. That one doesn't go far enough, and that is south. Yeah, it should stay south. I mean, if I'm being very honest with you, this part of the weather pattern has favored the low south. Okay. So based on that, if you look at the scenarios, using the LRC, using our cycling pattern, I can tell you it should want to focus more south. Will it? We'll see, right? Because you can't take the cycling pattern at face value as perfection. It's not perfection. It's guidance. It's another piece of information. But the pattern has always wanted the low to kind of go further south. How far south, I think, is the question. It's not going to go, the models for a while were having it like tracking up here, and I knew that was not the case. But we know it's going to be south. The question is just how far south, right? So it's following the pattern. It's doing exactly what we'd expect it to do. It's just a matter of, how far south it goes. So let's look at GFS ensemble, multi-member, low locations. All right, so there's your members. Nothing too terribly deep, but there's the members. Again, like I-4 South, and that's what the GFS is hinting at. Got it. Love it. Perfect. Let's look at the European. Actually, so that's the current GFS. Let's go back a run. Back 2 runs. Back 3 runs. Yeah. So it's shifted a little further south. Let's look at the European. It's funny, the European's not even really wanting to develop much of a low at all. That's current run. Back a run. Back 2 runs. Back 3 runs. Yeah. So, I think this is probably the best kind of scenarioistic. Can we make that word up? The best scenarioistic way to look at it. I-4 South, it's just a matter of exactly where. Scott Tanner, this is confusing. I always thought that the further north you go, the further south you go. There is an element to that, Scott. There is an element to that. That's hilarious. Perfect comedic timing, by the way, my friend. Perfect comedic timing. Love that. Hashtag LOL, #, LOL. Good times. All right. Yeah. Brian, is this upcoming storm system being caused by a recycle from a previous tropical storm or a past storm cycle? Please explain. It is, but it's not a tropical system. It was not. There was part of the weather pattern that gave us 3.5 inches of rain in November, and South Florida, it gave South Florida hurricane force wind gusts. That's what's coming this weekend. Yeah. So that's that. Got to drop off my forms for taxes to the accountant. Go do that, Mike. God bless you. All right, people. Kelly, did you get Jeannie some flowers yet? You probably should go do that. I did. Cupid made his appearance at this house. Jeannie had flowers waiting for her. The kids had Kinder Egg and other things waiting for them. I got to make the coffee. Thank God for coffee. I'm a decent husband, Kelly. I'm not going to say that I'm a good husband, because every guy is just a numbskull. No offense, gents. But we are. But I try to do my thing. Here's today's timeline, Debbie. Gorgeous, and more gorgeous. Yeah. Way better than this weekend. Did you get her chocolate? I did not get her chocolate. You got to leave something. You got to leave something on the table. Always leave something on the table. All right, so Mickey's asking about a drive-through guest this Friday. So, I was working on that because Claire can't do this weekend, or this Friday. I got to be honest with you. I have a life thing. So Friday morning, my son Eric is running the track at his school. And you know how I always tell you all life is more important? Life's more important. It's after coffee talk. So we're going to do the coffee talk thing. But I'm going to go do that. So the reason that I say this is I'm going to be doing coffee talk from the car. And you can do coffee talk from the car, no problem. But when we start getting into interview stuff where we need bandwidth, I could tell you right now, coffee talk in the car is fine. Broadcasting to you and then getting a live, feed from the computer. I end up running coffee talk out of Wesh when I do it in the car to need less bandwidth. So I can do coffee talk, but to do an interview where I need to be sending them video and I need to be pulling their video in, that is questionable. So we're not going to do that. So I hope you understand. We're just going to do a standard coffee talk for bandwidth's sake. Also, because my son's elementary school happens to be in an area that has just horrible cell phone connectivity. And because when I do it in the car, I run coffee talk via my personal cell phone. Wesh does not give me any money for my cell phone. You like the T-Rex sticker that my son put on there, by the way? Yeah. So when I run coffee talk out of the car, it's using my own personal data. Throwing that out there. Donations accepted. I'm just kidding. I don't need donation. But so anyway, cell phone coverage stinks at my son's elementary school. So even if I wanted to, I don't think I could do any interviewing. So my apologies. We'll get Claire next. Cindy says no worries. We'll get Claire next week. Yeah, we can wait for Claire. That's the way I look. So, yeah, no coffee talk drive-through this week. We'll get Claire Metz next week. We're still going to do our thing. I'll be running it out of Wesh, and if it freezes, grace. Give me grace. That's all I can ask for. Frank says, hope your son has a great time. Hey, he's a little runner. He has fun. Yeah. Eric needs a GoFundMe for better. I need a personal Starlink is what I need. Gisela says, I'm convinced all schools have cell phone jammers. It's probably not the craziest thing you've ever said. Probably not. Yeah. Anyway, questions, comments, concerns. We've got some stuff here next couple of days. We've got beautiful weather, getting a little warmer. I think I told you all this. I ordered the pool cover roller thing. I have the solar blanket. So I can tell you, while we've got some cooler days ahead, I'm getting ready for pool season. I'm getting ready. March, the month of March is when my pool opens for business. Right now, the water temperature is like 62. So I tell you, my scrawny little tuchus isn't getting in there. Flabby, maybe, but yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Meteorologist from our Fort Myers station wants in on the Wesh 2 hurricane season forecast. Be talking to Jason Dunning after this coffee talk. Shameless plug since he brought it up. March the 1st, we've got a whole coverage plan. It's going to be a busy day. I'm not even going to be in Orlando. I'm going to be taping all this stuff that Monday. So just so that y'all know, Monday, so March 1st, I leave to go out of town on, I believe it's that Thursday, early. Yeah. So I leave my flight on Thursday the 29th. So the 29th, I might be able to do, okay. So I'm leaving Orlando the 29th of February, and I should get to Charlotte in time to do coffee talk. That would be fun. I'll do coffee talk from Charlotte that day. Anyway, so I'm taping a bunch of stuff on the February 26th for the hurricane season forecast. I'm on Sunrise that day too, so it's going to be a busy, busy day. Good times. Cliff, just got here. I know you answered this 100 times. Is the rain all day Saturday? It's kind of looking like lunchtime on, bud. Yeah. So anyway, the preps are continuing. I've finished my hurricane forecast. Jeremy Nelson, who I co-author this with at WJCL, is working on his hurricane forecast. And then we compare notes and distill it down. So my part's done. He's working on his. And then there's going to be magic. And then on March the 1st, we're going to do our thing. Also, we talked about this, though. It's going to be on Wesh 2 News during the day. It's going to be so much. So much happening. So much happening. Tiffany, what's my shirt? Artemis. It's red. And it's long sleeved, so I wore it for today. And I'm going to go fly Cessna today, so why not do all the fun things? All right. What day in Charlotte? It's going to be, what is it, the Thursday of that week? What Thursday? Thursday the 29th, I'll be at the Charlotte airport. Running from gate to gate. Yeah. All right. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day, would ya? We'll talk to y'all later. Sound good? Thank you so much. March 1st, mark it on your calendar. Holy crow, that's 16 days away. Woo. All right. Hype. All right, I'll see y'all later. Take care.